Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, where we break down today's local news stories with our very own reporters. We start with a House bill being passed that makes college admissions easier for everyone. Plus, we're talking redistricting, and then a hometown tale that goes back 70 years. We tell you a heartwarming story about a lost baseball mitt right here in Washington. Our first big local story of the day: admission to higher education just got a lot easier after a House bill was passed. WMBD's Austin Feeman has been covering this story all day, and he joins us now with more on what this means for incoming college students and how it will affect universities and colleges. Austin, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Karen?
So what does this bill mean for any incoming students?
Yeah, so this bill basically is allowing one click to get you into any college in the state.
Oh, wow. One click.
One click. That's all you have to do. And the way this is happening is if you talk to your high school counselors when you're in high school, a junior and senior, you're talking to your counselor about your future plans, your college plans. All you got to do is tell them, hey, I'm interested in this new program. And they will hit that one button. And if your GPA qualifies, you will get a list back of any college in the state that you are eligible for, which could be...
That's pretty impressive because, back in the day, well, I mean, when in Australia, it's a little different than America, but it was a super long process, and it just took forever to actually, get it done. And it's just and it's also, they all have their different websites. That was also the worst part.
So this is kind of streamlining college applications for anyone in Illinois. They're not requiring essays. They're not requiring a letter of recommendations. You don't need anything but your GPA. And if your GPA qualifies, you'll get a list back, and you can go to any of those colleges that have accepted you.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Now, how can students take advantage of this?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, all you got to do is talk to your high school counselor. If you're a junior or a senior, you tell them, hey, I'm interested in this program. They will hit that one button, and if you qualify, you'll get a list back, and it will give you whatever college that you want to go to that you are eligible for. But the most important thing is that you opt in. So tell your counselor in high school, you want to do this program. You want to get a list of colleges that you are accepted to if your GPA qualifies.
Right, okay. And now, what happens if you don't get accepted based on GPA?
So if you don't get accepted to the college or university that you're hoping for, there is still a way for you to attend. All you have to do is fill out their application on their website or fill out the Common App and send that over to the university, and they'll look it over, and if they admit you, they admit you.
And this will be for next year for incoming students?
Yes, so this will start in the fall of 2026 for high school students.
Wow, okay,
Yes.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, almost a revolutionary change, it feels like.
I agree. I remember when I applied for college, it was a whole process. I had to write I had to write an essay and whatnot. Now all you got to do is boop, boop, and you're in college.
And then you're in college.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yes, it's very amazing.
Well, thank you, Austin. That's a great bill to hear about.
Of course.
And Austin here talking this evening, the Labubu craze is expected to make Pop Mart a billion-dollar business by the end of the year. New sales totals have surpassed Barbie and Hot Wheels. Oh, Labubus are collectible plush toy dolls that people use as accessories on their purses, luggage, and backpacks. The most popular and collectible dolls come in blind boxes, so customers don't know what they're getting until they get it. It also keeps people coming back to buy more in search of the rarest dolls. I've heard you have some strong opinions on these Labubus.
I don't get it. I don't get Labubus. I think they're stupid. I don't understand why people are paying, if you look on eBay at Labubus, some of these little keychains are thousands of dollars.
Thousands?
It is thousands of dollars for a keychain. That's honestly, in my opinion, it's kind of ugly.
Wow.
I don't know about you.
I mean, I'm not necessarily. Looking at them on now, I think I really don't like them. That one before looked like Michael Jackson. There were some really bad ones. I feel like then they look haunted.
They do. They do. But you know what? Some of the memes online and social media are kind of funny. My favorite one is the lady where she goes, I have the limited edition 24 karat Labubu. And it cracks me up every single time. I don't know what it is, but that's the only thing coming out of these.
It's a bizarre craze and it's a bizarre time.
Exactly.
I can say that. Let's bring back the Beanie Babies.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, we're flipping the script and I'm taking over our next story because our anchor has been following a redistricting story all day. We'll catch you after the break.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. We're going to be flipping the script now, and I'll be taking over for our next story because our anchor has been following a redistricting story all day. Cameron Main, our anchor, sits in the hot seat now, and Ray LaHood has been leading an effort to change the map-making process in Illinois. Now, Cameron, how would that work?
Well, basically, there have been a different amount of ways to change the maps, and the maps have been kind of confusing just because in the 1970s, they changed the Illinois Constitution, and now they require 4 Republicans and 4 Democrats to vote on it. And the plan was, it was like, oh, this will be a bipartisan thing. We'll all get along and vote on maps. That never happened. They always go for a tiebreaker vote, and that tiebreaker vote, they put a bunch of Democratic Republican names into a Lincoln top hat and then pull that name, and then that's the tiebreaker. So it's a bit of a coin flip of who will be drawing the maps, Democrats or Republicans. But at the end of the day, it was always going to be drawn by a political party, 100%. So this effort led by LaHood would try to do a voter initiative, and that's different from what would happen. And it's just kind of, how do I explain it? It's just become more of a citizen-focused thing than a court-focused thing, which has been the angle that most people have tried to change the maps in the past.
Yeah, so what exactly is this voter initiative?
So the voter initiative is basically something else that's in the Constitution, and they will need 450,000 signatures to get onto the 2026 midterm ballot. And they need those signatures by May. And then that means they can get their whole constitutional amendment onto the ballot. And then that amendment, when you tick it off in the ballot box, that will be requiring 60% of the votes. Now, as well, on top of that, the Illinois signatures that you need, they not only have to be residents, but they have to have voted in the gubernatorial election. So if you voted for Darren Bailey or you voted for Pritzker, either one, you would be valid for this vote. But that significantly cuts down how many voters, because I think we had 3 million voters of 4 million. We didn't have the whole Illinois population focused on that. And I think that's the difficulty for it, but see how it goes.
Yeah, so does this have a chance of moving forward?
I would say the barrier right now with just how the maps are at the forefront of everyone's mind, is what I would say, especially with what's happening with the Texas state legislature. They're brawling, they're fighting, there's a lot of drama, but it's all around these maps and how these maps are being drawn, and they've been kind of in the back thought of a lot of people's minds, or they don't even know how they're made. Well, now they're back at the front of the mind. Some people thinking this might be the only chance that they could amend the Constitution to fix this map-making process. Now, this might not receive support from the supermajority Democrats because they want to stay in power and have their own maps. And then there might also be some Republicans on the other side be like, hey, if we get back in power, does this really benefit us if we then remove the chance for us to make our own maps and stay in power? There's a whole lot of things, but at the end of the day, it'll be down to a vote of the people, and it'll be requiring 450,000 signatures from Illinoisans that voted in the last gubernatorial election, and that is what matters. Are they able to get that? Not too sure. We'll see. All
right. Well, thank you very much, Cameron. Here's a story that'll make you laugh that our producer Sarah likes. A bear in South Lake Tahoe, California, sets off to a mission to satisfy its sweet tooth.
Okay.
The bear was caught red-handed by county deputies as it raided an ice cream shop. After some encouragement, the bear left, but not before showing how interested it was in the strawberry ice cream. Luckily, not much damage was done to the shop, and this comes after a 4-year-old bear ran off with 3 gallons of chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream from another South Tahoe Lake ice cream shop back in May. Now, me and this bear are very similar. I love strawberry
love
ice
strawberry?
cream. Yes, I do.
Well, hopefully it didn't do barely as enough damage as they hoped it did. But,
yeah.
You know, I think chocolate chip, chocolate, just keep it simple. And I think that bear that stole the gallon of chocolate, it was on the right path. Right
yeah,
there.
I think so.
He knew what he was doing.
He did, and rightfully so. I mean, how can a bear get ice cream? Like, there's no ice cream bear shops.
Yeah, it's kind of discriminatory
yeah.
to some extent.
Now, I would say my favorite ice cream flavor would have to be Superman. And sometimes it's controversial because Superman is just vanilla ice cream with pretty colors. But you know what? I think it tastes better than vanilla ice cream.
I've never heard that ice cream flavor before, so I thought you just wanted to eat Superman. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, we all have our tastes of food, you know.
No, you'll
I
have
like
to try it.
chocolate, you know.
Chocolate's
you
good.
Like the flesh of a superhero, you know.
Well, let's go with that. Let's go with that. All right. Well, another big local story of the day, a Washington man was reunited with a prized possession after more than 70 years. We'll take a look next with Alex Berger.
Well, here we have another big local story of the day. A Washington man was reunited with a prized possession after more than 70 years. WMBD's Alex Berger joined us now. Alex, what was this item and how did this happen?
Yeah, so the man his name is Stephen Roosevelt. He lives in Washington. He went to school one day at what used to be Washington Middle School. It is now the Washington Park District. He had a new baseball glove that he had back then. He is now 83, and he was in middle school, and so he had this baseball glove, and he put it in this little crevice or a little like shelf while the lockers that are there now were currently under construction. And when he put it there, he put it there on a Friday, came back on a Monday, and it was gone.
Oh.
And he didn't want to tell his dad or anybody else that had, known he had the glove because he didn't want to be like, hey, I lost this new glove you got me. So he just didn't tell anybody until Monday when they reunited it with him. So it was a pretty interesting thing.
That's honestly insane. Talk about the process of how they found this glove.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jeremy, he's one of the workers at the Washington Park District. He was doing some renovation, some construction on the building. They were doing some work, and they were just feeding a wire through the ceiling. And he noticed that the lockers were not against the wall. And they were like, what? And so they look into the lockers, and they see like a dark object. They're like, what is that? And they bravely reached down and just grabbed it with their bare hands and not knowing what it was. And they pulled it up, and it was a pristine glove from the 1950s, 1960s. And it was in pristine shape. It was behind the lockers in a, just like a dark crevice for more than 70 years. And it was as if it was new off the shelf. No dust, it wasn't weathered. But it sat in Jeremy's office for 2 years. He didn't know whose it was. They couldn't reunite it. And then one of their groundskeepers came into his office and asked, about the glove. And he's like, oh, do you know who this is? And he knew exactly who Stephen was. And so they were able to reunite the glove after calling his son. So yeah, it was a really interesting thing.
That's a 70-year-old journey right there. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
What was Stephen's reaction very quickly? How did he get how did he feel when he got the glove?
Well, when he was reunited with the glove, they said he knew exactly where he had put the glove. And Jeremy said it was like a 12-year-old kid who had lost his possession and saw it again. He loved the reaction on his face. So.
Wow, that's insane. Honestly, hearing such a local story like that, especially 70-year-old glove mitt, you'd almost think it would be too old at that point.
Yeah, exactly. You would think it would be out of shape and.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, you'd think exactly that.
Yeah.
Well, we've got. I believe we have someone coming live in the studio with the Center for Prevention of Abuse's annual duck race happening this weekend. Our Brianna Rittman is spending time at the duck tagging event. Brianna, it seems like everyone's getting a little excited for the big day.
Yes, Cameron. I'm at the East Side Center in East Peoria, where almost 200 volunteers are here doing some duck tagging ahead of Saturday's race. Now I'm going to step aside so you can see, like I said, there are almost 200 volunteers coming from different businesses, and we have quite a few East Peoria high schoolers out here, and they help out a lot. The East Peoria Chamber of Commerce leader, he told me it used to take them days to get the duck tagging, but now it only takes them about an hour, 2 hours max. They have about 3,500 ducks left. There's currently a BOGO sale going on, so buy one, get one. Go to duckracepeoria.com to get your last minute ducks. The goal for this year is 35,000 ducks to race down the hill on Saturday. Now, I spoke with CEO Carol Myrna, and she tells me they're just really excited ahead of Saturday's events. The festivities start at 11 right here at the Eastside Center, but the race begins at 1 p.m. Now, she did give me a heads up that for year 40, because this is the 37th year, but for year 40, their goal will be 40,000 ducks to be sold for the duck race. But for now, right now, I'm Brianna Rittman, Beyond the Headlines. Back to you.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. And now I've got my boys with me to talk about this story. There's a new list of the most fun states in America, and Illinois, they didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
We are number 4 on the list of most fun states to visit. We ranked 3rd for entertainment and recreation and 2nd for nightlife.
Interesting.
Number 3 on the list of most fun is Nevada, who also placed number 1 for nightlife. Florida is 2nd on the list, and most fun state is California, which also ranked number 1 for entertainment and recreation. The least fun state, West Virginia. And rounding out the bottom 5 is Mississippi, Rhode Island, Delaware, and Arkansas. I get Arkansas.
Yeah. I feel like you voted a whole bunch of times to make Illinois go up to 4. I mean,
I feel like Montana should have been on there somewhere.
That's beautiful.
No offense to Montana.
That's beautiful.
But what do
though.
they have there?
They have mountains. They have nature.
But that's not very entertaining.
yeah.
That is very that's soul-searching entertainment.
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'm
That's
alone
how
on
you
this.
find yourself.
Exactly.
As a being.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What
Exactly.
about Idaho?
They have potatoes.
Right.
Very starchy.
You can
Yeah.
put googly eyes on them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
entertaining.
Well, I like to make a good mash. Maybe I'm like every
like
other
mashed
person
potatoes?
on this universe that likes to eat potatoes.
That's mash as in mashed potatoes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that
yes.
an Australian term?
what,
Mash?
what else would we be mashing?
No, it's just a mash. I didn't know. We'd be mashing Idaho and Montana.
To one.
2-1.
Yeah.
All
Idaho,
right, well,
Montana.
that's all we've got today. Thanks for joining us for today's Beyond the Headlines. We discussed one-click college admissions, a new law making the process easier for students, plus how Ray LaHood wants to change the redistricting process. And then we talked about a fun story connecting a Washington man to his baseball mitt he lost 70 years ago. You can find all these stories and more on our website, ciproud.com.
For breaking news and weather updates 24/7, log on to ciproud.com and download the free CI Proud to Go mobile app.